lazy girl. Hey John, how you doing? Hey Pamela, how's it going? Look up this drug ibogaine. Pretty interesting. You get a chance. Hey Jay, how you doing? Hey Susan, how's it going? Yeah, when I'm on my camera, it's on my phone, that chat just I end up having problems with it. If I get a phone call, if it overheats, blah blah blah. This isn't. This is always pretty good. Hey Ann, how are you? How's it going? Oh, I got another book delivered. That's good. Opiate receptors. What's that, Ellie Mare? Cold and damp out today. Oh, gotcha. All right, thanks. Yeah, thank you. Oh, thanks, Valerie. Yeah, I don't know what to do about that, Mira. I mean, nothing really. It's none of my business, but I mean, they ask sometimes, and I don't comment on it because I just don't know much about it. Hey, Anne Marie, how you doing? But it doesn't appear that there is much of Plan B after high school as I thought there'd be. He's a good kid. It's just I don't know what the reality is of finding him like something to do. I mean, I don't know if it's possible or it's really weird. And a couple other people mentioned, Mark Wall particularly mentioned that I'm not so sure it's like a good thing to just continually make up these fantasies of owning these companies. You guys hear me okay? Okay, good. Good girl, huh? Good baby. Good girl. I know it was down to 28 at one time, Jay. Got down to 28. You could have got lower, but that's the lowest I saw. Definitely cold. I was hoping to do another video tonight of the moon, but I think we're going to have overcast, so I don't think it's going to be possible. Yep, time of year, you're right. Although I can remember, it seems like I remember you would just get, kind of cool evenings going into the fall, Indian summer type things. And it kind of went from hot to cold to below freezing pretty early. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Good girl, Daisy. Good girl, honey. Feeling good, huh? You good girl, honey? Good girl, hon. Oh, thanks, Jay. Appreciate it. 91, man. I'm glad I'm not there. Wow. It's pretty interesting reading, Susan. I'd never heard of it before. Good girl. Excuse me, I'm going to put in a load of laundry. Good girl, honey. Hey Erica, how you doing? Hey Bunny, what's happening? Back at you. Yeah, sorry about that earlier phone connections. It's the way it goes. Just not a good way of doing it. I don't think I'm going to be able to get any new moon video tonight. That's the way it goes. Pretty well, hanging in there. Not a bad day today. Fooling around with my new camera. Got it all. Yeah, it's pretty interesting, isn't it, Robin? I'd never heard of it before. I'm reading it. I'm reading it as part of that heroin book I bought. Hey Jenny, how you doing? Hey Rachel, how's it going? Yeah, that's how it is, Rachel. You haven't seen anything yet. Wait till your channel gains steam. It's super interesting, Susan. You know, as I read on, they talk about this book, how drug companies really aren't interested in sticking a lot of money into drugs for people that, by their own volition, became addicts. It's just the way it is. Narcan came across as an accident of another drug, but drug companies don't want to stick the money into the research and development for drugs. It's weird. It's titled Heroin, Heroin. Yep. I can give you the author's name a little later. I've posted it on here before. Yeah, you know, it's funny. I mean, I like this camera better than my other one, but sometimes I don't think that the colors are as vibrant when I'm looking through the viewfinder. And I never watch my videos after I upload them because I know what the content is. I guess I'm going to have to watch one. And that's about it. Other than that, I think it's a great camera. So far, so good. It's half as much as my other one was 5 years ago. So they're getting cheaper. I would definitely go with Sony now. I don't know if it's more realistic or it doesn't enhance it or that's just the way it is, or it's hard to say. Now this camera that I use here is like 780p, 720p, low resolution. Because at the time I was just getting a camera so I could do a chat. I didn't really care what it looked like outside because it's not exactly the most beautiful view in the world. So I just basically got the cheaper camera because I don't think looking at the back of a Walgreens in a strip mall in high resolution is really what you're looking for. So as far as I'm concerned, the blurrier the better. Oh yeah, that could. Yeah, I think so because those trails are heavily used, big time. Yeah, they really are. I go there in the winter more than I go there in the summer. I think safe injection sites make a lot of sense. Well, what they do have is they have needle exchange, where they're also able at the same time to get some hygiene products. So, I mean, I think the needles is the big thing, and in Detroit you can get that free needle exchange, no problem. They take your old ones, they give you the new ones. So, I mean, that to me is the biggest risk that makes these safe injection sites a good idea. There's just so much counter interest in methadone treatment centers, safe injection sites. I mean, a lot of the society just thinks that these people are just a bunch of druggies, they're not going to get better. They don't want these facilities in their neighborhood. That's what happens when you start shooting heroin. It's not my problem, it's yours. And that's going to be a hard road to overcome. I hope it'll change in the future. I mean, I had pit bulls like 25 years ago. And believe me, I'm not dumb enough to own a dog that's vicious, because I don't care what you do, somehow, some way, 1 or 2 times a year, that dog's going to get out. It just happens, whether a damn tornado comes through and knocks the fence over, or water main ruptures and it washes out the bottom of your fence and the dog can crawl under it. You got to be out of your mind to have an aggressive dog. But the city that I lived in at the time, just didn't like pit bulls, and they were going to teach me a lesson. So it's kind of the same thing. Now, here we fast forward 28, 30 years, and you see pit bulls all over the place. And actually in Michigan, they lost in the Supreme Court. It can't be breed specific bands, which is good. So you see pit bulls everywhere now, where back when I first started out, you're not going to get any sympathy or any support for owning a pit bull. People believe what they read. Yeah, that's right, Robin. Yep, needles, you're right. It's true, Bunny. Yep, hepatitis C. Hey, Catherine, how are you? Yeah, that's exactly it. A lot of people are, Erica. A lot of people are. And pit bulls by nature are not people aggressive. Now, if they're game dogs, they're animal aggressive, and that's a problem. People say, well, why don't you have a pit bull rescue now? And that's exactly why I don't. Because I'm older now, and I don't want Fido jumping through the window and deep throating somebody's toy poodle. And if he's a game dog that's been somehow ended up on the street that I rescued, breaking that gameness out of them, that animal to animal aggression, is very difficult. I don't want to have the responsibility. So that's why no pit bulls for me. They're great dogs, though. Yeah, they're gorgeous animals. Brindle's my favorite color. I mean, it almost looks like a wild animal, but I had quite a few pit bulls, and they were absolutely excellent dogs. About half of them were animal aggressive, though, and it's just a pain in the ass. Because even if your dog is on a leash, if somebody else's dog comes up to you and your pit bull crunches his skull flat, even though your dog was on a leash and theirs wasn't, you're going to have to pay for those bills. Hey, Arlene. Yeah, big time. Chronic bronchitis. It does, Arlene. Yeah, I mean, the good news for you, Arlene, it's probably a one-shot deal. And you're not a smoker, so your risk level is very low. Yeah, that's terrible, Erica. Where is that? That's such an outdated philosophy. It's ridiculous. Arlene, you don't have anything to worry about. I'll tell you what I'm more conscious about now, though, and that is chemicals. If I'm, using Lysol and cleaning my bathroom or something, I put a damn mask on. Because the more that I read about lung damage, it's possibility you could get COPD from inhaling basically anything. It all depends on how your body reacts to it. So I'm not taking any chances. I'll tell you another thing that'll give you COPD, and I know of a couple incidents where this was the first acute attack that people had, sitting around a damn campfire. You make sure when you're sitting around a campfire, it's upwind. You don't want to be sitting there roasting your marshmallow with that smoke going into your nostrils. I'm telling you, it's super damaging, and I don't care what kind of wood it is. It's just bad. Same with cooking meat on a grill. Wow, Arlene. 1 month. Wow. It doesn't, Arlene, but you're at the age of have you had a chest x-ray, Arlene, yet? You've probably been screened for breast cancer. It should show up on a chest x-ray or an MRI. Have you looked at one of those, or has anybody ever mentioned it? No, Robin, I have. They're beautiful dogs. Yeah, that's right. But your risk level is really low, Arlene. But if you've had breast exams, ask about or an MRI or an X-ray. It should show on there. So if you don't see anything or no one's mentioned to you, because I know a couple people that have went into hospitals for different reasons, and the doctors have brought up, did you know you had scarring in your lungs? And they were totally unaware of it. So I think you said you're around 28, 30. So if this hasn't been brought to your attention before, you don't have anything to worry about. Well, Jenny, it's okay to camp. It's just make sure you're on the right side of the smoke. Yeah, Arlene, you need to do that. It's totally preventable. You really do. I mean, it's a misnomer that it's this big lump that all of a sudden you feel under your armpit, where really it's the size of the end of a pin and very difficult to see. Yep, cleaning supplies. There you go. Erica E just said it. Yeah, it's the truth. Yep. Yeah, she's alive. Yep, she's around. The last interview was because I was leaving Detroit that day. Yeah, you really should, Arlene. I mean, it'd be ironic, people find out about things through reasons that you'd never guess, like a chat board and it kind of signals you. But breast cancer is, I just read an article about it in the paper again yesterday. And you can look at your risk level, your family history, but I'll tell you, it's preventable. I know 2 people my age that are no longer around because they didn't get colonoscopies. They were afraid of getting one. They're both dead now. Yeah, I'm going to come back tonight, Tracy. Yep, sure will. Hey, Boundless, how you doing? Hey, Amanda, how's it going? Yeah, Arlene, I don't think you have anything to worry about, but boy, I'll tell you, here's the thing. I mean, I kind of got the same problem myself, and that is that, you got health insurance policies and it costs too much to use it. I've got a $5,000 deductible. Well, basically, if I go to a dermatologist or get a colonoscopy, well, I'm going to have to bite the bullet. I think I'm going to do it in January 1st. And it sucks. I got insurance and I end up paying for everything anyway. I mean, if I get run over by a semi truck, I don't have anything to worry about after $5,000. It's everything before $5,000, which used to be covered in typical insurance coverage. Sucks. That's right, Boundless. Yeah. Hey, Gina, how are you? Yeah, that's right, Robin. Yeah, you're right. Yep. Oh, thank you, Bunny. Now, sometimes people get mad. Like I'm thinking of going down there Thursday now because, and that could always change because, I wanted to wait to get some more mail, and I always didn't really feel like going down there that early anyway. But sometimes people get mad when they find out that I've taken off, and their letter or package hasn't gotten here by now. I mean, that can always happen. That's why I try not to do it. I lost a day with Columbus Day Monday, so I know people really like to see their gifts delivered. So I try and wait till I think they're, for the most part, going to be here, and then I take my trip to Detroit. And I look for good weather as well. Yeah, I mean, vinegar is good for some stuff, but I mean, that's what gets you is, try using vinegar on like soap scum around your faucet. It's not the same as the old Lysol lung ruiner spray. Yeah, Clorox is a hell of a germ killer. It's also a very toxic chemical. When you see these um, trains tipped over sometimes, a lot of times they were carrying chlorine. It's hazardous waste. I mean, you got to be careful how you use it. And now I'm not 100% sure of this, but I don't think chlorine kills Pseudomonas. Pseudomonas is, I bred tropical birds for quite a while. That's what usually got the baby, Pseudomonas, and it's generally what kills a burn patient, Pseudomonas. Yeah, I mean, I hate to say it, it's probably my own ignorance, but some of these natural things, it's just, I'd rather leave it dirty. They don't work for shit. Oh, South Africa. Hey, champ. All right. Getting a lot of people from different countries that I never seen before. Yeah, I mean, I'm honest most of the time. I mean, if the ugliest girl in the world came up to me 5 minutes from now and said, I want you to be honest with me now, am I the ugliest girl in the world? I'd probably say no. So I'm not totally honest. Oh, do you really, Susan? Well, there was a deal for a while where people were taking teaspoons of vinegar for your gastrointestinal tract. I mean, I couldn't stand that shit. I think I'd rather be sick. Erica, multiple sclerosis, they're all bets are off. There's new theories and all the time with that. That's one of those odd diseases that's who knows. Oh, okay. How old are you, Erica? Yeah, that's exactly right. Being tactful, Boundless. I agree with you 100%. Honest and tactful. I mean, I always looked at it when I decide to tell a big old giant lie. If you go with the all sin is equal type thing, I always look at my motive. Am I lying to try and take advantage of somebody or change the outcome of the situation, or am I just trying to save someone's feelings? Permanent heartburn. Yeah, I just don't like the taste of it. 32? Huh. Now, how has your treatment progressed with that? I mean, are you doing okay? Yeah, motivation. You're right, JC. I agree with that. Yeah. It's hard to get motivated with some things. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's possible. Yeah. I think Lysol's pretty much, I haven't read any downside to that chemical. Yeah, that's the way. Well, that's what I know. And if you guys, on that Boundless, I'm glad you brought that up because, these people that go on there talking a lot of crap about me, just look at their sentence structure and their grammar and how they put things together. And you'll realize that it's just a bunch of crude zombies with no lives. They would be asked to leave a formal dinner party by the time they handed out the first hors d'oeuvre. You would climb under the tablecloth if you brought them with you someplace. Oh, that's great, Erica. Good for you. Yeah, I think hillbillies is something they should strive for. I mean, I think they're way below a hillbilly, Arlene. Yeah, the hairdos. Yeah, thank you, sweetie. All this stuff speaks volumes. As you're talking to people and you're having a conversation about things, that just made something like pop into my mind. I can remember a couple times like being on dates with somebody, and if you're on your way to, let's say, get dinner or whatever, they could make a comment about a movie that I thought was just like the stupidest movie in the world. I would never watch it again. I wouldn't consider it. I wish I hadn't have seen it the first time. If they make a comment like about how great it was, they bought the DVD. People say that those things are small things, but to me, they're huge things. I mean, how many of you people out there have been turned off in life by a single comment somebody has made? You could have known them for a long time and they were nice and great and you did things together, and they'll make one comment that will totally turn you off and you don't want to have anything to do with them again. Have you ever had that happen? Yeah, isn't that the truth, Tweety? Yeah, you know what I mean? I mean, it could be dating, whatever. It's just a deal breaker. This is like probably a poor example, but I can remember like dating sometimes, and my dog would like be excited and he'd jump up on some woman's leg, just happy to see her, wanted to get. And it's like, ooh, get that dog away. total deal breaker. Even if you don't like dogs, to have you react that way, this isn't happening. I've actually had the balls enough to just cancel the date right then and there. It's like, you know what? I don't think this is going to work. It's like, why? You know, what I do? It's like, well, you know what? My 2.5-pound dog just jumped on your leg to say hello to you, and you acted like it was the biggest thing in the world. I think we got to go our separate ways. That's one thing that I'm probably bad at. And as you can see with my latest group of haters, I don't do very good at beating around the bush. You know, I've got kind of an aggressive personality, and when I'm aggressive and I'm out helping working women, great. You know, I'm aggressive that way too. But when I can see something's going south, I just as soon nip it in the bud. You know what I mean? You can have people call you sometimes, and I just want to, if I had a sledgehammer, I would hit the phone as hard as I could just by seeing their name on caller ID. And believe me, I've had it happen in my lifetime. You call people and they don't return your call. That's it. I'm done. I get it. But to just have some of these zombies just call you 20 times in the same day in your caller ID. There's a woman where I live, and 2 months ago, she calls me, texts me, just drives me nuts. I finally had to say, look, you know, it's gotten to this because I've tried to be tactful and hint to you, but you do this one more time, and I'm going to go and I'm going to fill a police report out on you. It's stalking. I don't answer your calls. I don't return your calls. I told you to quit texting me. I don't want you stopping by ever, whether you called or whether you didn't. Yeah, no, I don't come by here. I don't want them around here. I don't even want to like talk to them in the aisle of the grocery store. Get lost, please. But you know, I thought there's like a million ways of just trying to be nice, and I think it's stalking. When you tell somebody don't call me, don't text me, don't stop by, and they continue doing it, I think that's stalking. And so does the law. It's unwanted attention. Now, if Arlene, if you came over and I never said anything and you stopped by all the time and you didn't know I was pissed, that's not stalking. The difference between stalking and not is when I say, hey, look, Arlene, I don't want you over here anymore. I don't want you texting me anymore. And you come tomorrow and you either text me, you call me, you stop by. That's when it turns into stalking. You have to put people on notice. It's just like sexual harassment. People get very confused about that. If I go up to Tweety and I say, man, Tweety, you have really got a killer body. I can't wait to go on the next cruise with you. And she smiles and says, well, thank you. Now, if I do that for 100 years in a row and she says, thank you, that's not sexual harassment. What sexual harassment is, if I say, Tweety, you know, you got a great body. I can't wait to go on a cruise with you. And she says, you know, I'd really prefer you not to talk to me that way. Now, if I do it again, that's sexual harassment. And if you look at the state statutes with sexual harassment, it also addresses joking. And you know why they do that? Because when some pervert goes up to his secretary and says, ma'am, what a body? And she says, don't you talk to me that way ever again? And he's confronted with it. He said, well, I was just joking. I was just kidding. I didn't really mean it. So the statutes cover being serious and joking. It's all treated the same. When someone says, get lost, I'm not interested in you, don't contact me again, whether you're male or female, you've now formally put them on notice. I mean, some of these screwballs on this YouTube thing think that I was sexually harassed. Are you kidding me? You couldn't offer me $10 million to get within a foot of either of these women in a bathing suit. Yeah, no, the joking part, if you think about it, it's really a good idea because there's no way out then. That's what happened to that Al Franken, that Minnesota senator, congressman, whatever he was. He said he was just joking. Doesn't matter. Yeah, that's exactly it, JC. Yeah, it's true. It's crazy. There are people out there like that. And you know, once you get into an adult stage in life, let's say you get in your mid-20s, you should know it by your late teens, but a lot of people are slow learners. Once you get into your adult life and people are telling you, don't bother me, don't come over, don't call. 99% of the time, just like these wackos on YouTube, they've had these problems their whole life. These aren't isolated incidents. They've been asked to leave, they've been fired from jobs, they don't get along with their neighbor, they're estranged with their family, they don't have adult lives. No, they don't respect boundaries. That's why, when people say, oh, it's the little things. Hey, a lot of things can be little things. And if you don't understand tact and class, and if I'm constantly on pins and needles, if I take you to a formal dinner, this isn't going to last very long. Now, you can be a lunatic and weird when we get home, but I respect somebody that knows the difference, when to turn it on and when to turn it off. When you see these ranting weirdos on the internet, these YouTube kooks, it's one speed all the time. They can't turn it on and turn it off. That's them, 24/7. You talk to them, it's like, hey, I really think you ought to do this a little different. They don't know what you're talking about because their whole lives have been in one speed. And that's called ignorant. They're supercharged, ignorant people. Hey, Lisa, how you doing? I mean, all you got to do is, like, a perfect example is Saturday night, the conversation we had, the chat. Look at that chat compared to their chats. Night and day. We had fun Saturday night. No, it's, common sense, Eric. That's exactly it. Yeah, see, you can file those kind of lawsuits, but there are sanctions for filing frivolous lawsuits. In other words, the system protects itself. Just every kook out there that wants to sue you for the hell of it, you can get it shoved up your ass for that. There are sanctions for frivolous lawsuits. Telling somebody they had a nice bow in their hair isn't sexual harassment. Now, she says, I don't want you commenting about my hair ever again, and it happens again, that could be construed as sexual harassment. So basically, when someone says quit doing it, quit doing it. I mean, to me, you've got to be brain dead to not be able to ascertain who's interested in your comments and who isn't. I mean, would you ever go up to the guys out there? Would you ever go up to a flight attendant and tap her on the shoulder and say, wow, what a body. My God, I haven't seen anything like this in an airplane in 5 years. You have got a killer body, lady. Do you understand this? That kind of crap. I mean, you can still, don't be afraid to give somebody a compliment. Oh, really, Tweety? Yeah, no tact. That's the whole trick to it all. Yeah, they're going to verbalize things that most people wouldn't think in a million years of saying in public. Just ignorant. I mean, I'm sure, like, the question for the women, haven't you ever been out on a date with a really good-looking guy and you like everything about him and you were attracted to him and you saw him when you were getting a Starbucks latte for $19, he looked at you and you looked at him and you switched phone numbers? Then you go out in a social setting with this guy and you can't crawl under the table fast enough because of this stupid etiquette. Just ignorant. You can't wait to get away from this guy, even though he looked like something you'd be nailing up on your bedroom wall when you're in the 8th grade. It goes the other way too. You could have someone that you weren't attracted to at all and could have the King's English. They went to French finishing school, just more manners than you could ever stomach. But you're not attracted to them. So you kind of pigeonhole them in the same bin. I mean, it's a complicated swirl of a combination of many different factors that makes you attracted to people. In one stupid comment, and you're ready to hit the road. Yeah, well, I've talked about it before. I mean, the criteria changes so much. When you're 20 years old, and you're attracted to somebody and they're attracted to you, that's a whole different dynamic than when you're 55 years old. Yeah, Arlene. Yep, that can happen. That's the way it happens. Yeah. I mean, it's not easy. I'm glad to be over that part of my life. You don't know what the hell's around the bend nowadays. Yeah, women stalking women. Isn't that something? Yeah, Bounce, isn't that the truth? It's almost like dating's getting old fashioned compared to the old days. Yeah, beautiful but crazy. Yeah, that's exactly it. What's that one movie they did where Glenn Close boiled the rabbit? That kind of wacko. Look at these crime shows. Um, Dateline, some of these Fatal Attractions. Yeah, Fatal Attraction. That was the name of it. Yep. It's just like, oh my God. And that Tinder and Plenty of Fish and all that crap. Oh my God. You're asking for it. Yeah. It doesn't take long to figure out if it's going to go anywhere or not. Just a bunch of kooks out there. It's not easy. Maybe the reason that dating seems so fun when you're young is because you don't know anything yet. Yeah, wisdom. That's right, Eric. Yep. There's these two older women that I know in town. One's like 75 and the other one's like 78. And they're always telling me that these men that want to get together with them, and they tell me that they make very clear to the men, that there's going to be no sex. And I always think to myself, you really think you got to make this clear to the men? But in their minds, 75 and 78, they're still thinking like they were young and desirable. I guarantee you these men aren't interested. I don't even know them, never met them, probably never will, in any sex with these women unless they've been in prison their whole life and just got out. I mean, what do most women want? I think they want companionship. They're lonely. Yeah, you're right, Arlene. Yep. The blue car, that's the mother-in-law. No, that's the mother of the lady that lives next door. Are you talking about the one that you see right now? No, Catherine, you're right. Yep. Yeah. These women think these guys are out to have sex with them. Yeah, that's the mother right there throwing the football. She's a super sweetheart going through a divorce now. Just the nicest lady you'd ever meet in your life, and she's a great mother. Yeah, I'll tell you who she reminds me of exactly. Do you guys ever remember the cartoon Poindexter? You guys remember Poindexter? Anybody know what he looks like? Yeah, she reminds me of the female version of Poindexter. Just really like kind of like submissive and sweet and everything. And she's going through a bitter divorce right now. Vaguely, that's a good answer, Mira. Good answer. You're not too far going yet. Excuse me. Yeah, the blue car is that lady's mother. Yeah, that's the girl's mother. Yep, her mother watches the youngest kid. The little girl's not old enough to go to school yet. Yeah, no, kind of nerdy and a nerdier, like a nerdy. Oh, okay. Yeah, real studious. She's the sweetest lady in the world. She got out of a terrible marriage, 4 kids. You know, she's stressing out. And she's not like a sappy crybaby either. Just a sweetheart. You know, I'll tell you, it was funny. I got that new camera and I wanted to go over to the county fair was going on, which I'm kind of bored with. And the estranged husband is in some kind of farming. And when I was over there fooling around with the light setting on my camera, I ran into her. And her oldest boy had won first place in a 4-H competition at the fair. And they were so excited to tell me about him taking first place. And the mother was just as excited as the kids. But it's just like the most purest, legitimate innocence you've ever seen in your life. Just really nice people. I mean, when they first got here, everybody was worried about, you know, the noise the kids were going to make and stuff. Those kids are so nice, and she's so sweet, and her mother's very nice. They could light off M80s all night long, and I'd never say a thing. Yeah, just sweet people. Are you talking about the redhead in the interview? Oh yeah, isn't she a pretty girl? If you look in the comments, somebody commented she was a waitress at a place that they go to. Isn't that a hell of a head of hair she has? Thick, beautiful red hair. Yeah, I mean, there's women that give $1 million for a head of hair like that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, JC, you're right. It's a combination of things. I think if one thing I think the mother's real religious. She never really says too much about religion to me. Uh, Maybe that's it. I mean, that works for some people. I mean, I'm sure if they are religious, this divorce has put a lot of stress on them. But the mom's just as sweet. But she's so sweet and nice. It's like, you know, and I was thinking about getting out of here this fall. I was going to sell her my place with no money down and a decent interest rate just to give her a break in life. You know, I know she struggles to keep the wheels going around. She's going to have a hard time qualifying on a loan to buy her own home, and she loves living over here. Yeah, that's a hell of a head of hair on that redhead. Isn't that something? Beautiful. Tassie's got great hair too, and so does Kelly and her daughter have great hair. I mean, it's genetics. And if you look at the interviews I do with the guys on Michigan Avenue, I joked in one of the early videos with Dan that you know, these guys need to go to work for the Hair Club for Men. And you never saw a nicer head of hair on homeless men in your life. It's so weird. It's so crazy. If you went out and you had me go around looking for guys with great heads of hair 50 and over, I'd have a hard time doing it. But you go down there with those heroin addicts, panhandlers, they got the greatest damn hair you ever seen in your life. I even commented to it about Dan. He said his barber comments how thick his hair is. You know? Yeah, it's crazy. He's a nice looking guy. He's a good looking guy. I mean, there's some of these people down here. If you put them in a suit and you know, got the one of these TV show makeovers, they'd look like they ought to be reading you the 5 o'clock news. Yeah, Elaine, I don't know what it is, but there's something to it. Next time you guys are in Central Park or New Jersey, whatever, and it's a nice warm fall day, look around at the heads of hair on the homeless people. Their biggest problem is trying to afford a haircut. If it's a CEO running a Fortune 500 company, he's already had about 10,000 hairs drilled into his forehead with an air hammer. It probably cost him $300,000. And it looks like Chucky the doll. I mean, it's just nuts. Guys will go to great lengths to do stuff with their hair. I got the bad gene for the hair. My dad had hair like George Hamilton up until the day he died. My dad told me when I was 23 years old, he said, son, I've always been honest with you. And by 27, you're going to be combing your hair with a washcloth. And unfortunately, Dad was right. And he had hair like Ronald Reagan. And you know what? He could have gave a shit. But you know, if you're a woman and you've got big boobs and that's the way you were born, you're a guy with a thick head of hair, you never feel the ramifications of not having it. That's why they're always so humdrum about, oh yeah, I got to go to the barber again today, get a haircut. That's because they don't know any other way. That's what my dad predicted for me. Dear old Dan. Yeah, that was one more reason why I didn't go to his funeral. Yeah, I'd love another van like the one I have, except most of them, if they're maintained, it doesn't matter. But most of them got a gazillion miles, and I'm afraid of them because I don't know if they've been maintained. I mean, mine isn't running well because I just had a rabbit's foot in my pocket. I've maintained the damn thing. Anything it needs, I'm right on it. So that's why it's lasted this long. But most people aren't that anal about vehicle maintenance on older vehicles. A lot of people will get to a couple hundred miles and think, you know what, I'm not sinking any more money into this. I'm just, when it dies, and I never really thought that way. Yeah, that's how my dad was, Boundless. Yeah, same way. Yeah. Yeah, that's it, JC, right? So if you're lucky enough to get one that's, I'll tell you another thing to avoid is you find these vehicles, it happens with airplanes too. It's like you'll find an Astrovan, it's got 16,000 miles on it. I don't want it. The cylinders rust, all sorts of problems. Same with airplanes. I learned a long time ago, to be overhauled, when you overhaul an air, it's a recommended TBO. Well, if you're a guy flying 150 hours a year, you're never going to reach the 2,000-hour TBO. Why? Because the cylinders rust. You're not using it enough. But if you go to a flight school, you'll see 2,800-hour Cessnas flying all over the time. They're 800 hours over the TBO. That's because they fly them every day. You want things to be running, not running. I always think of that when I watch this Jay Leno show. You got to drive that shit around, start it up, drive it around the block. You can't just let it sit there, even if it's in a climate-controlled building. The rubber goes to shit, the hoses disintegrate, you get moisture on the inside of the sleeves. Yeah, just a few miles is bad. Hoses, gaskets, yeah, all that stuff. Fluids deteriorate. Yeah, I can remember my wife thinking about getting those tattooed eyebrows 30 years ago. I talked her out of it. Yeah, 60,000. But that's not bad if you're driving it all the time, Lynn. That's a good amount of miles. You're just not going far, but I'll bet you drive it a lot. Oh, here's this Kathleen Murphy. Need help, not a video. Now here, I want you guys to watch this Kathleen Murray, and you're going to get a chance to just see what nuts is all about. Watch the comments this lady makes. Hey, Benny, how you doing? Even though Kathleen does nothing, she's going to tell me what to do. Now just watch, you guys. Yeah. No, this Kathleen Murray. Watch, there's going to be one cuckoo's nest post after another. No, it's not rational. She's just out there. I think she slammed her head along the way. Yeah, yeah. Just watch this lady. Read her comments. No, she couldn't. You could never teach her how to use autocorrect. No, these are the kind of people that I have out there that are making up videos about me. It's just fun to watch. Just sit back. Do you have any popcorn or a drink? Because you're going to laugh your ass off. This lady actually thinks she's right. And these are the kind of screwballs that I deal with. Oh, no, that's schizophrenia. That's nothing. That's actually better than she usually writes. This is nothing compared to the emails that I get. Hey, get a popcorn and a Pepsi. Yep. Just sit back and enjoy. I'm not kidding you, man. Yeah, she's crazy. Yeah, anytime that I give out an email, some wacko is sitting there doing a backflip that they've now got my email. And it's people like her, and sure enough, I'll get the emails big time. Yeah, well, she's got a funny way of showing it if she does. I mean, this is off the charts kooky. She's probably like doing, just banged her head on the top of the freezer door when she was bending down to get another Mick Light. Something's not right there. Yeah, well, I hope she unlikes me. No, she's just crazy. She's just this is my average hater out there. It's a typical post. Usually I block them, but I'm going to quit doing that because I want them to post on here. I want you to see what I'm barraged with every morning, noon, and night. Yeah. This little kid you see running around out front, I mean, he certainly seems like a hell of a little athlete for his age. Oh, you can't stop her, Benny. You can't stop her. I mean, you're never going to stop her from speaking. I don't know what's going on right now. She's probably clubbing herself in the head with a bowling pin because I said something negative about her, trying to snap out of it. She's crazy as hell, man. I'm not kidding. Stepped in a bear trap that she set for me, even though she lives 2,500 miles away. I mean, it never ends with these people. You couldn't drink enough alcohol to act this nuts. Shouldn't you? I mean it. Probably shot off a flare gun sitting on her couch. It's really like that. I'm telling you. You'll see as they post on it. The biggest question I get is, what am I doing for these women? I mean, it's crazy, Rob. It's just nuts. Oh, totally, man. Big time. Just really stalked. Stalkers. I mean, what's worse than a stalker? That's what a couple of them are. I think they're worse than stalkers. I really do. Really crazy. Hey, you guys ever use softener in your laundry, and when you get it out of the washer, it's got that blue softener stain on there? Well, you think I'm putting too many clothes in the washer? Why don't they make clear softener? Man, I have a hell of a time getting that blue stain out of stuff sometimes. I think I might be putting too many clothes in the washer. I didn't even use any today because I don't want that blue stain on something. It's all right if you're using black t-shirts or something, but it's light colored stuff, man. Who needs it? Oh, they make a white Downy? I looked for some white Downy the other day. I even bought that little ball thing that you fill it up with softener and it rides around in there. And that stained at one time too, so I quit using that. Yeah, I didn't see the white softener anywhere. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here you go. Atta girl, Kathleen. Okay, that's my babe. Did you crack yourself on the forehead with another bowling pin to snap out of it? I use the like Tide, but the liquid kind. Come on, Catherine. Tell me how you really feel. I put it in the softener slot. Yeah, in the hole in the top. Yeah, I think Tide's the best soap. There you go, Catherine. Benny wants to hook up with you. Yeah, Tide is #1. You wouldn't think there'd be that much difference between the good detergents and the bad ones, but there are. That's what I got, the Downy ball. Oh, too many clothes in. Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, it'll give her something to do. Benny, if you really want a lot of low to laughs, give her your email. Give her your email address. Nah, thank God I don't have any allergies. You know, the smellier my laundry is, my sheets, the better. The more perfumey it smells, the more I like it. Here we go. Very good. Okay, Eileen. Okay, Kathleen. Kathleen, send us a photo, yeah? You're really cracking me up. Yeah, you're probably right, Lynn. Yeah, you're probably right. Does that say I'm a real man? I do. I stuff that baby full of a bunch of clothes. It's nothing worse than 2 loads. Hey, Greg, how you doing? 82 degrees. Oh, you poor guy. I don't know what her problem is. It's crazy. You are gay. Get with it. Kathleen, you got more time on your hands now that YouTube ignored you. You know what? That's an Irish name, too. So embarrassing. Unstoppables. What is Rachel? Is that liquid form or in those packets or what? Hey, Maximilian, how are you? How you doing? Guys will ask me, do any women ever email you and want to hook up on YouTube? It's like, yeah, here, this is what I'm talking about. Oh yeah, I like those little. I got those for a while, but you know they charge too much for them. It's not like it smells better when I use them. Scent boosters, yeah. No, the more scent on my laundry, the better. Oh, you gave yourself up now, Arlene. No, I'm here. I'm here, Maximilian. Yeah, okay, Kathleen. Yep. Crack your head in the crack yourself in the forehead with that bowling pin again. Hey, Arlene. Yeah, something's going on there. Arlene, when you come to that conclusion, is it just kind of like walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, looks like a duck? I mean, is that etched in stone? Sounds like a stupid question, but because I know you mentioned you dated guys for a while. It's the only reason I'm asking. Oh, okay. You know, there's a guy I know here that had a restaurant that went out of business. Hell of a nice guy. And I went with him and this girl that he rents an apartment to down to Barnes and Noble, maybe 6 months ago or so. Anyway, she'd been what she identified as a lesbian for like 8 years. And they ended up getting married. In Michigan, you could do that. They ended up getting married. Well, something happened and they got divorced. So this lady that identified as a lesbian for 8 years, during the midst of her sorrow and her breakup, met a guy. And now this has, been almost a year and they're engaged and they're going to get married. And I just can't for the life of me see how someone could go full circle. I mean, to me, it would seem like it'd be like bi. But I guess it's a revolving door. I guess it can change. It's interesting. Hey, Bert, how you doing? How you doing? Circumstantial. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah. I mean, I don't care one way or the other. Like I said, I've administrated a couple of gay guys estates after they kicked the bucket. I don't care about it. I really don't. But on the other hand, I've said also, I mean, I'm not really into hanging around with a bunch of gay guys, but looking at the shopping channel. I mean, I know there's gay guys that aren't feminine acting, but you get what I'm saying? There's a group of them around here, and they want to get together and go to lunch. I'm just not interested, to be honest with you. I don't have a problem with it. I'm not scared of it. Good for them. I vote for equal rights. I'm just not into hanging around with a bunch of gay guys. Sorry, it's not fun for me. I told you I got a sister that's a lesbian. Was a lesbian. I don't know. Think she still is one. Oh, really, Arlene? There's a certain type personality of women that, believe me, I've seen this happen over and over again when I lived in Florida, Atlanta, Chicago. It's the old joke of fag hags. There's an element of truth to that. It's kind of a slang derogatory term, but it's true. Yeah, but Robin, I've read that. I've read that. Well, I know when it's from Colorado or Chicago, it's spam. Yeah, really, when you look at that bi stuff, though, that one guy who had that dating site, he's a guy that wrote a book on memory. There were people that opened their dating profile up and considered themselves bisexual, but they had all the data, just like Google does when you're searching around. They strip the identifying information off it, and then they sell your shopping habits. Well, they did the same thing with that dating site. They took like all this data, stripped the identifying information off it, and what they found was that I'm not kidding, 99% of the people that identified themselves as bisexual only searched the same sex. Or, in other words, if you're bisexual, why are you only searching males? Or why are you only searching females? It doesn't make any sense. It's the private greatest information you could ever get because they don't know anybody who's keeping track of this. But why would someone call themselves bisexual, but yet for an 8-year dating profile only looked at one sex? It doesn't make any sense to me. Unless they just think it's trendy or it's cool to be bisexual, or you're going to get swingers calling you. I don't know what, but I mean, if you're not bisexual, you're not searching for both sexes. Why are you putting that in your profile? Oh, now here's Boundless. It's going to straighten this out for us. Yeah, I'd probably go along with that, Boundless. I'll tell you another thing that I always thought was kind of strange too. If you can get, here's an example. Women, I'm talking about straight women for the sake of argument. Sorry, Arlene. But straight women think nothing of dancing together. When's the last time you saw two straight men dancing together? And I'll tell you another thing I think that's real too, is that There are straight women that will do a threesome. They're not both feet in, but they'll go along with it. But you're not going to find too many straight men that want another guy around. So there's these big, giant differences. And I can't really figure out why. It's almost like women think, yeah, I'm not really into this, but I'm willing to do it. And a guy identifies his sexuality with it and thinks there is no way in hell another guy is going to be around while we're doing this, period. And it's really quite a contrast. And I always thought it was kind of interesting. Yeah, I think even bi-curious is a big stretch, you know? Yeah, Mira, I believe that's true. You don't think so, Tweety? Yeah, but here's the other side of the coin, Tweety. If you had a guy and you just thought the world of him, and you had a fantastic relationship for 10 years, and you knew in your heart of hearts he wanted to have a threesome, just one threesome in his life, always thought about it, would you do it? You're doing it for him now, not you. Would you put up with it? Were you in? That's my girl. Once. Yeah, that's okay. I mean, maybe that's all it takes. Now I'm going to before we get into this, the serious of all serious subjects, I want to vote now. Who wants me to block Kathleen Murphy? Oh, really, Tweety? That's the way it is, huh? Yeah, Kelvin, it's probably true. Not far away wants it. Well, that's all it takes. Kathleen, it's been a lot of fun. You know how I like having you around so much. But I've left it up to the people that have read your ridiculous psychotic rants. So bye-bye. Bye-bye. Hey, Arlene. Now, Arlene, you tried both sides of the old coin now. Do you think that's selfish of a guy to bring that up and ask for it? And do you think it's wrong for a woman to submit? Do you think really this is this big of a deal? I mean, is this a deal breaker? It should be avoided? Or, yeah, he's a good guy. He wants it. It's not the end of the world. We're not chopping each other's arms off. I think I'll do that for you. What's your take on that? I mean, this isn't like, is this really that big a deal? Yeah, she's crazier than hell. Yeah, by Curious George. Yeah, it's probably pretty funny. You could really go a long ways with it. Yeah, but Tweety, that's like the most far right like logic. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I mean that you could argue that, but there would be a lot of talking before it came down to this. Certainly with your personality, Tweety, and I'm not saying anything negative, I think it'd be pretty clear early on that this isn't exactly a great subject to bring up when you're around. No offense. No, boundless. I don't think that's true. I know couples that did it that didn't. It was a one-shot deal and that was it. A lot of stipulation. Yeah, like I said, Tweety, you're the wrong person to broach this with. And I'm sure any guy that with a 65 IQ would figure that out very early on. You're not exactly open to this idea, which is cool. And that's what people try to figure out. I mean, who in the hell wants to bring up things to people that they're not really going to think a lot of? I mean, you kind of beat around the bush and see them where they're coming from before it gets to that. But I got an idea. Any guy that would have a long-term serious relationship with you, he knows bringing that up could very well get a Louisville Slugger across the forehead after a bottle of wine. So therefore, it would never go anywhere. All right. Hey, Daniela, how you doing? How's it going? But that's okay, Tweety. I mean, that's the whole, thinking behind the discussion, to figure it out. But, you can just listen to people, how they comment on things, where they're at politically, what hobbies they have, what they read, what kind of dogs they like. I mean, it's not too hard to profile someone. I'm not saying that's necessarily in a negative way, but you can pretty much zero in on it if this is going to be a possibility or not. You know, so only a moron would bring something up where every little tiny quiz that he slung out there, the respondent failed. It's probably be best not to bring it up at all. The little kid, I think she's just running around like a nut. Yeah, that's true, Bert. You would, Bert. All right. Yeah, but polygamy, as far as I know, last I checked, it's not legal in any state. Really, they got away from that. I don't know if this. I don't think you can. I don't think that you can do that anymore. Hey, Maximilian, how you doing? I think it happens, but I still don't think it's legal, is it, Mark? Yeah, it's cute seeing kids out there fooling around, isn't it? Yeah, okay, not legally. All right, so Mark, if it's not done legally, what's difference? What's the difference between practicing as a polygamist and being a swinger? An entrance fee? Oh yeah, those are. I listen to stuff like that sometimes driving, Catherine. Yeah, I mean, I don't. I can't give you. I can't give you any examples of polygamy working. I just can't. Oh, do you, Catherine? That's cool. Yeah, Mark. Okay. No, that young blonde kid is athletic. He's a smart kid too. Really nice kid. All those kids are really nice. Yeah, anytime I've ever watched a an interview though, like on 60 Minutes or Dateline or one of those, these polygamy deals, they always seem like they're a little off. Like a Rain Man husband and a um, Jack Nicholson wife and The Shining wife, just a little off. Oh, okay, Julie, what'd you come away with? Think after reading that book, Julie. What's your opinion? You think it's a bad idea, good idea? Five wives ranging from 60 to 18. I'd like to interview him. Oh, okay. All right. Multiple wives. God, I wouldn't want multiple wives. It's hard enough getting along with one. I think when men think about polygamy, they don't think about it in realistic ways. Yeah, JC, isn't that the truth? Oh no, Daniel, I get these crazy emails all day long. Pretty good though. I've been coping. Oh my God, I think it'd be a nightmare. I don't think I could do it. No, I just think it'd be impossible. I mean, I could. This sounds terrible. I know it sounds terrible, but I could think of like having two wives in Thailand or something, or three wives in Thailand. But to have three wives that were born in the United States, oh my God. Yeah, very submissive. Oh yeah, three. Can you imagine having three wives born in the United States? I mean, I can understand it over, like I said, Thailand, someplace in Asia. You know, one to cook, one to do your laundry, one to turn your channels on the TV. Sorry, I'm fantasizing out loud. Yeah, but when I think of three wives, polygamy in the United States, I just think of three Jewish women from Manhattan. Yeah, you know, it's crazy. It's more like a dream than reality. Ah, you got time, Mark. Yeah, they do. There's a couple guys over here with Asian wives. They work two jobs. Yeah, I'd be scared to death of a Russian wife. No way. But there's a couple older guys here that have real young Asian wives that work a couple jobs while these guys stay home and watch Sports Center all day. Oh, really, Catherine? Yeah, three Fran Dreschers. Thank you. Isn't that the truth? God, drive you nuts. Oh, really, Dad Jacobs? Yeah, I believe that. I have not heard of one long-term Russian mail order bride marriage working out. Just go on Dateline if you don't believe me. Half these guys getting offed by a Russian mail order bride. No way in hell. Yeah, no way, man. Yeah, that green card. I read an article on the internet yesterday about, these people, they're locking these people up that catching them lying about the marriage interview, like busting these sham marriages, asking you what side of the bed you sleep on, and all that kind of stuff. Oh, really? About the Slavic women in general, huh? Interesting. Oh, do they, Arlene? I know some waitresses that did that in the 70s. Greek, worked at a Greek restaurant. I often wonder if those sham marriages ever caught up with anybody. Oh, toothpaste too. Huh, that makes sense. Happy dude, yeah. I cannot give you one bad example of an older male. I mean, JC, if you think about it, what in the hell are there not to be happy about? I mean, I'm sure the whole neighborhood kind of looks at you as an old lech, an old pervert. But other than that, I mean, what's there not to be happy about? Other than, maybe communication. Yeah, I think that TLC stuff, though, I think that's fake, isn't it? That's not really real, is it? That's what I would say, Mark. But in case if an adult male hasn't realized along the way that there's more to life than sex, uh, it would make you question what an older guy could possibly expect to do other than have sex with a woman 30 years younger than him. I mean, there's got to be a big, huge lack of communications there. Just seems like odd. I get why you'd want one, but I don't really I can't. Wanting one and thinking about it and joking about it's one thing. Actually paying the freight to have one shipped over here and dropped out and making it a reality is a whole nother ballgame. I would think that you'd have to have kind of a screw loose. Yeah, Lynn, I think you're right. Yep. I think that's a good way of putting it. Yeah. No, I haven't because I'm always so suspect of those shows, Arlene. It just seems like such bullshit. I mean, any guy, normal male that I know, you know why you got married, including me? It's because you got an ultimatum. Any guy that's like, dating women and stuff, you just do that until the day you die. It's the woman that pins you down. At least that's what happened in most instances that I know of. It's like, look, we've been doing this for a while now. Either you commit to something or I'm gone. Well, you'll even try like I did, letting them be gone for a while. It just drives you nuts. It's the old adage, you don't want them, but you don't want somebody else having them. Worse. Yeah, ultimatums. Yeah, it's true. You don't think that's true, Cricket? Most of the people I know, it was that way. I'm just giving you my experience. Yeah, Mark, you'd think that. I agree. I know, I'm with you. No, I'm not saying it's right. I agree. Oh, so Benny, it makes sense to you. Oh, here we go. Catherine's going to straighten us out. I did. Yep, I did. Yeah, but I'm telling you, not so much with men. Now, this sounds chauvinistic, but with women, they want that piece of paper. I don't care if it's worth a half a cent. It's a legal contract. And even though it's a piece of paper, it's an important piece of paper. It's much different living with a guy. And women, even in this day and age, that sticks in their craw. Never getting married, it's just kind of a hard pill to swallow, it seems. Thank you, Zach. Appreciate it. That's possible, Cricket. I could have. See, look at Catherine. Yeah, but Catherine, you can't equate marriage and relate it to a waste of money. It's a different argument. Mark, what the hell does that have to do with it if you're going to have kids? Lesbians and gays had kids for years that weren't married. What difference does it make? Yeah, binding agreement between two parties. Now, there's an argument for a wedding being a waste of money. I don't think common law is recognized in Michigan. I could be wrong on that. At least it wasn't at one time. That's what I say. But most women I know, they want that traditional wedding, and they've thought about it since little girls. Yeah, I know that, Arlene. All weddings are expensive now. Oh, no kidding, Rachel, huh? Wow. You would do it, Zach. If you met the right woman, she'd talk you right out of that prenup in a heartbeat. Yeah, but you can't base your feelings towards someone else on statistics of another group. I mean, everybody always thinks they're different. You don't want to be part of those statistics, so you forge ahead and either you go out to Las Vegas or you plan a big expensive wedding. Yeah, Boundless, I would agree with that. I would agree with that. Yeah, Ellie Mary, you're right. There you go, JC. Because they will sell these guys, and that's what real love is. It isn't bound by legal contracts. That the trust is out the window right from the very get-go if you're not willing to sign a prenup. If you want me to sign a prenup. I mean, you could argue it either way. It is, Chris. It seems to be, doesn't it? Oh, wow, Susan. Well, if you look at the statistics of marriage, they're heading south. Same with church attendance. Oh, that's okay, Julie. Yeah, it is. Yep. It is, Danielle. Yep. He's a nice guy, Wes, or Les, or whatever his name is. I don't think it'll go extinct. 24 years. Congratulations, 420. Oh, come on, Tweety. That's the only thing that you find uh, purposeful in a marriage? Come on. There's a lot at stake. There's a lot at stake. Society's changed. Marriage statistics are down. Living together is where it's at. I mean, the way things have have loosened up. You know, when I was a kid in school, if my mom and dad weren't married, living together, I'd have never heard the end of it. But now I don't think kids care any longer. And besides, who's going to really know if they're married or not, other than the school, because the last names are different? Nobody gets married up in this county I live in now. It cuts into their welfare too much. Yeah, good luck, Boundless. But hey, now, Tweety, deep down, do you hope you get married someday? Do you want to get married someday? Oh, congratulations, Anita. Okay, 420. Yeah, Mark, I think there's an argument for that. Hey, wee boy, Kinsey, how are you? Hey, Kinsey, what's going on? What are you doing there? But I think there's a lot more to marriage than just mating. I mean, there's plenty of people that get married nowadays that don't have kids. Oh, sorry about that, Travis. Oh, that's good, Danielle. Tell him he's a good boy. Did his ears perk up when he heard his name? See, I mean, this discussion shows that it's an individual decision, so it's not one size fits all. Baggage on both sides, life experience on both sides, expectations on both sides. That's the way it is. Do you really, Andre? But Andre, I don't know that you could cite any data to support that. That's all right, Arlene. It's fun while it lasted. Get one of those external batteries. You get 5 hours worth of talking. Yeah, but Zach, I mean, Zach, are you suggesting that you should get divorced when the physical attraction dwindles? Goodbye, Arlene. Thanks. Zach, do you think you should get divorced when the physical attraction dwindles? If not, why not? It is crazy, isn't it, Rachel? Yeah, pros and cons. That's exactly it. Get that external battery. It's $20 on eBay, Arlene. Look at my eBay, Detroit River. You see the one I bought. Came within a week, too. That's true, Zach. No, 185 miles away, Travis. About 185 miles away from me. What button, Robin? What button's that? Biggest employer? Well, I can tell you who it is. It's Forwards, which is a gas station outfit, and the second biggest is Walmart, and the third biggest is the county. West Branch, Michigan, Flora. West Branch, Michigan. Yeah, I get over there, Traverse City, once in a while. Hey, Danielle. Yeah, thanks for participating. Oh, yeah, me too. I did too for a while, Flora. What are you going to U of M? What do you think of the level of care there? I've always been into photography and stuff, Travis. Basically, I'm not doing anything different now than I did my whole life, other than I'm recording it. I always found, like, the city intriguing, and I got older and, see women working out there and just getting in cars with strangers and living in abandoned houses. I wanted to know more about it. No, for us, not too bad. Oh, okay, right. Yeah, Robin, you don't need to worry about that. I don't really care about it. Yeah, I think that place sucks, Laura. I really do. I'm not going back there anymore. Maybe for the Mohs Clinic for some skin cancer, but that's it. That's Cleveland Clinic's just as bad. Big giant marketing campaign. Yeah, JC, thanks. Great conversation. Thank you. Appreciate you sticking around. Thanks. It's a fun chat. Oh yeah, Boundless. Great conversation. Thank you. Had a good time tonight. Thanks a lot. Oh, thank you, Travis. Yeah, that's the same way I look at it when I'm down there. Believe me, I'm looking through the viewfinder, and I don't watch my own videos very often, but I'm thinking the same thing you are while I'm recording them. I've been a private detective my whole life, Anita. My whole life I've been a private detective. Oh, thank you, Robin. All right, Boundless. Have a good night. Tonight's garbage night. I gotta take out. I gotta go see if my clothes are done yet. Girl, all day downstairs, huh? Good girl, huh? Wow. Good girl. Good girl, huh? Calling dad downstairs, huh? Good girl. Hello. Sorry about that. Yeah, sorry about that, Ramen. Hey, Joe, how you doing? Oh, wow, Rachel. Well, let's certainly consider ever. What's that, Rachel? Hey, buddy, I played that for years. I guess old Alex isn't doing too well. Was the guy up there doing aerobatics or something? Oh, okay. Well, I think I'm going to log off, you guys, and make something to eat. I'll be on later. And appreciate you coming on the chat. It's great. Probably getting on right around 10 o'clock if that's okay. Okay with you guys? Thanks, Chris. It was a good time. It's fun. These chats are fun. Hey, Rachel. Thank you. Hey, Jim. Yeah, thanks, Mira. All right, Tweety. I know it's a busy time for people this time.
Hey, Daisy, my girl. How you doing, baby? You good girl? Huh? You good daddy's girl? Huh?
You good girl. Daisy wants to get petted. All right, take care, you guys.
You want to get petted, huh?
You want to get quite a bit of petting, huh?
Oh, you want to pet it, huh? Your face? No, the face pet? Good, me too, Dad. Let's get the face, yes. Let's get the face on. Like that, like that? Good girl, huh?
Yes, a good girl. All right, man. Take care, Bonnie. Take care.